game one, but here we go, getting it rocking here in winter semis.
Interesting stat spread. Kyna Ackerman going with the base, having a little bit more strength, whereas Neuz favoring the movement speed, instead going to get 6 movement speed at the cost of 1 of those strength stat points.
Yeah. Okay, well, right now, we got the hammer taking on the sword. Both players trying to jockey for position here. Both of them got a couple of hits to get started, but man, Kyna starting to go a little bit crazy with that hammer.
I mean, hammer off stages can be so scary. The verticality, the ability to throw out those recoveries, those ground pounds, and Neuz has a hammer of his own because he's playing the same character.
Yeah, well, definitely so you can get that early start. Kyna looking kind of good here. Definitely a great start. There's a weapon toss. Beautiful closing out that first stock.
Yeah, really well timed. You saw the sweat beads coming out from Neuz as well. Neuz had no options there and kind of was like, I'm going to just do this safely. Make sure you can't accidentally hit me, get a chase dodge.
Yeah, it's definitely important to keep some of those recovery resources available, not just dancing around off stage, because you don't want to get caught in a position like that where you're forced to go against the wall. And if your opponent's ready for that, that's bad news for you. But Neuz starting to get a little bit of something going in their direction. Goes for a huge sig, not going to be able to connect.
Little surprised Kyna let him get away with that. When we saw the end sig, and Kyna was in perfect position to punish, but opted to wait it out, just kind of see what's going to happen. You know what? He's got the stock advantage. He just wants the safe extra credit.
Yep. Well, I mean, he did get a little bit of extra credit, but that stock's going to disappear. Fantastic stuff from Neuz, at least evening the stocks up as we get pushing forward here. And even unarmed, trying to get a little bit of extra damage popped down.
Yeah, good on Neuz, making sure that one didn't run away from him, but now he's got to take this opportunity. He's got the weapon advantage. He's going to keep denying weapons from Kyna, and it's helping him out. He's starting to get this damage added up, but he's not pushing the pressure.
Okay, there we go. Kyna got the hammer in hand. Great stop there. Not going to be able to close out the stock quite yet. Ooh, tried to go for something. I'm not quite sure, but they definitely gave up stage position, and now Neuz has him on the back foot, but Neuz also going to miss, and these guys are just kind of trading positions, trading hits, too.
Yeah, a little bit of a tricky edge guard coming out from Kyna. He did the last one with a bunch of side airs, right? Very horizontal. So that time he tried to mix it up. Went for a vertical, went for that recovery, but another side air, and he might finish off Neuz here, but Neuz gets past him.
Okay, Neuz, yep, trying to go for a little bit of something, but now they both got swords in hand, so it's definitely a duel. Is who can get that next hit to kind of take that really strong lead, because even though Kyna's been starting off strong here, Neuz has been making a run, but they will lose that stock first. 2-1 now in Kyna's favor.
Yeah, Kyna had his choice of how he wanted to finish off Neuz, right? Could have gone for the downlight side air, could have gone for the downlight recovery. Opted for the side air, knew he had the damage on Neuz and the positioning.
Ooh, goes for a huge sig. No punish out of that though, but Kyna's starting to get a little bit of something. Neuz is kind of struggling here. Like, as every time they're able to take a couple of steps, Kyna's just a little bit further ahead. Tried to go for a huge sig, not going to be able to get the confirmation that they needed to close out the stock and the game.
Yeah, Neuz is starting to get a little bit desperate here. You're seeing him just kind of throw out these wild N6, hoping that it's going to be the thing that hits. Instead, just go for the simple side air. Comes out a little faster, finishes off the stock. But again, he's in that position of needing to push his weapon advantage because he is playing from behind.
Yep, I mean, opts to stick with the sword here, but that's not a bad deal for Kyna because they're able to pick up the hammer immediately. And again, just a couple strong hits to be able to close this out. Potentially looking for another stomp, Sair, or just Sair General. There it goes. Closing out that game one. Kyna on the board here, 1-0.
Ooh, and they're going quick into the map bans. Barely even saw the stat screen at the end of that one. They went straight into it. No character swaps, just running it back, but I think a different map.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be going to Demon Island coming up here. But as we take a look at some of the stats, you can see how strong of a match Kyna had. Not quite, actually, yeah, over 200 points difference. So Neuz, as well as they were hanging in there, they definitely need to find a way to step it up just a little bit more. They definitely relied on that sword, but they weren't really able to capitalize on closing out these stocks.
Interesting stats coming out from Kyna. Threw out 0 signatures in that last one. It was all about that downlight side air for finishing off stocks.
Okay, and right there had the edge guard situation, but wasn't able to find what they wanted to close it out. But Kyna continues to dominate here. And there we go, another stock down, another stomps there to close it out.
He is just going to the batting cages. Downlight side air, getting those home runs, knocking him out of the park.
Now goes with the sword here, trying to rack up some damage. Neuz just kind of getting whatever they can take at the moment. The hammer is in their hand. They do get a stop share of their own, but they still got a ways to go before they can close out the stock here.
But again, the neutral sigs. Neuz uses those to bring himself back, but he's playing from behind. This time he's got a little bit of health to play with. He's not as damaged as he was in game number 1.
Right, absolutely, yeah. Definitely a much closer game here. And as you can see, the sword coming in, putting down the work, getting the combos going. and Kyna trying to find a way to just kind of get the momentum and back into their favor, even just a little bit.
Yo, he is adding up that damage. It is relatively even, all things considered, but like you kind of pointed out at the beginning of this one, Neuz is leaning very heavily into the sword, whereas Kyna's a little bit more hammer-focused.
Okay, now both of them got hammers in hand, though, so Neuz definitely got to figure out a way to make something work here. Although relatively even percentage-wise or damage-wise here, Neuz is now actually struggling a little bit. They do have to be a bit more confident here. I do like that, trying to get that stage control to Sair. All right, you can find a way to take a strong lead here, Neuz. You just got to find a way to get that confirmation into it. The Sair definitely a strong option here.
He's staying inside this, but he jumps into the weapon toss. Kyna Ackerman gonna get that stock advantage, but this is the closest it's been in game number 2. Neuz needs to find the finisher. He can't rely on those neutral sigs, though.
Yep. I mean, he's definitely been a fan of those neutral sigs, definitely throwing them out quite a bit. Almost taking that second stock, trying to even things up just some way, shape, or form. But Kyna, great weapon toss, getting a little bit of extra damage in there too. The edge guard not going to be able to close it out.
Oh, Neuz trying to pick and choose when he's attacking. There's the pickup, downlight recovery, cleans up the stock, little bit of a damage advantage, but Neuz is waiting for that weapon spawn. He wants the sword.
Yeah, no, he definitely wants the sword, just keeps getting the hammer. And now you got to play a hammer game against Kyna, who honestly has really been favoring the hammer and been doing well with it. That's kind of a game I don't want to be a part of, so I wonder how Neuz is going to find their way around it. Finally gets the sword that they have been seeking here. Let's see if they can even up the damage. Okay, nice little start, good read.
I love the three-piece there. Another ground pound. Kyna's gone, he knows it. Starts setting up camp just next to the box, and he's going to get taken out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always a big fan of that. You know, when you realize, you know, you're losing the game, you just gravity cancel taunt.
Yeah.
Big fan, big fan.
Just give him a salute goodbye. Give him a little emote to say, yep, you got me.
Yep,
good ground pounds.
Good game, good game. And as you can see right here, the damage is so much closer this time around. First game, it was like a 200-plus difference. This time, not even 20. So, honestly, that's a much better turnaround here. Neuz looking a lot more confident. Maybe just kind of getting rid of that platform is kind of what helped them establish their game plan, try to get things going here. But as we wait to see our next game, look at that. Like,
I love that graph. Just, I mean, the damage difference, you talked about 20 points, but you didn't talk about the fact that it's 20 points in favor of the person who lost. It's all on the back of that final stock with the ground pounds. And Neuz kind of stole out that victory.
Yeah, I mean, Neuz just found the right position, got a couple ground pounds, closing it out. I mean, that's what it's all about. Sometimes you don't need to necessarily outplay your opponent for all 3 stocks. You just need to outplay them when it matters most, when they give you those opportunities, and that's what Neuz took advantage of. But now going into Mammoth Fortress, this should be interesting because you kind of have that platform sometimes. The other times it's just on the side. So this kind of favors both players. You know, they both kind of got a victory one way or another.
Yeah, they have a platform, but you know what? Sometimes it's not in position for them. Kind of goes in for that down sig. Good dodges from Neuz. Not going to get hit. He's keeping even, and for once, Neuz is on the weapon that he wants against Kyna on the weapon he doesn't want.
Okay, and now a little bit of the reverse where we're seeing Kyna on the sword and Neuz on the hammer. We'll see how both these players try to incorporate that into their game plan right at the stomp Sair just to kind of keep Kyna off stage.
Snap!
Oh, you got a little too aggressive and Kyna made you pay for it.
Yeah, kind of went early with that ground. Sorry, Neuz went early, kind of early on that ground pound and then ended up in an awkward spot, but he's getting good damage in the side air. That's going to even it up immediately.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. I mean, Kyna definitely has to try and find a way to keep this momentum in their favor, right? Because Neuz, I mean, was able to sneak out that second game, kind of like how you mentioned with those ground pounds, but you need to try and just work this all back just to have a strong lead here, because Neuz seems to be a very big proponent on once they find an opportunity to capitalize on something, they really take it the extra mile.
Yeah, really just trying to push each of those inches. Right now, double dare. Goes for the GCN light, didn't quite connect, and Kyna getting good damage built up because Neuz had burned that dodge.
Kyna's getting some onesies, twosies in here. Just a little bit of damage. Just trying to slowly build things up into their favor. Goes for a reverse sig? Okay. Unfortunately, not going to be exactly what they wanted, but they still find the stops there just to kind of get something going here. But, man, yeah, this is definitely a much slower-paced game than the first two.
Yeah, it's a battle of the stomps. Who's got the bigger feet as they go for stomp side airs after stomp side airs. Kyna Ackerman has the damage advantage. It's the scoop up to give him a huge stock advantage over Neuz.
Yeah, just barely getting into orange, too. I mean, Kyna's got a nice little lead here. They can honestly play around with it. I mean, you see 6 minutes on the clock. I don't expect any sort of timeout to be coming out, but you have plenty of time. You have plenty of resources to slowly put this game in your favor. There's no reason to get crazy in here just because you want to get that quick 2-1 lead. Take your time.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He's going deep. Fast falls to avoid the ground pound. Exhausted recovery, but he did get the wall touch. Doesn't matter, though. Neuz again with the offstage, but he's pretty far behind here. Kind of can afford to go for those kind of wild plays.
But Kyna does have to realize that twice now since they've gone off stage to try and edge guard Neuz. Neuz has turned it around and just taken straight up stocks from him. Not even like allowing them the chance to even get back. So Kyna has to start respecting that a little bit. Like, yes, try to pick your spots, like spots that you are absolutely confident, but do not get overzealous because Neuz is making you pay for it.
Yeah, Neuz doing so good in the offstage, and right now he's doing so good in the onstage as he's finding hits, not taking too many punishes. Suddenly, Kyna finds the stomp side air, and Neuz burns a dodge, has to use the weapon toss to make sure that touch is safe.
Okay, there we go. Continuing to do a good job here with the edge guard. Yes,
nice.
Another one. And taking the game. All of a sudden, Neuz up 2-1. Dropping the first game, but making the adaptations necessary to get ahead here in the set.
And look at that damage difference. 1 point of damage between them. That's a weapon toss, which we may or may not see in one of these clips. But either way, Neuz bringing it back, a lot of it off of those edge guards.
Yeah, honestly, just fantastic stuff. But this is like what we're talking about right here. Stop trying to edge guard me, says Neuz, as we honestly just clears up another stock here and a beautiful edge guard once again. It just seems like if you are off stage and below Neuz, that's bad news.
Yeah, Neuz is doing it so intelligently with the way that he's doing these edge guards. It's like catching the movement of Kyna as Kyna starts to throw out a recovery, something that's like very clear, or it's Kyna's burned a lot of the movement to get to a position, and Neuz is like, well, you basically have nothing left. I'm just going to hit you with a down air and finish it off. Fun little fact about that one, Kyna threw out more SIGs in that game than he did the rest of the set, and he hit one of them.
I mean, he definitely is, seems like he's definitely trying to get a little more aggressive with these signatures. I mean, we know that Neuz is no stranger and not afraid to be throwing those out. That first game, we saw like, what, 5, 6, something like that.
He threw out quite a few of those hammer neutral SIGs. And then this time, Neuz is the one who's actually reining in. He threw out one signature. It didn't hit, but it's just kind of an interesting dichotomy where it seems like maybe reining in those signatures is working out for the players.
I mean, it kind of helps out too, especially like you don't need to rely on SIGs as much when you have that hammer, right? You've got a weapon that can just pretty much clean up some of those stocks for you without having to put in too much effort, or at least putting yourself in a vulnerable position, you know, to get punished as heavily as you can be. So yeah, we'll just see what happens in this game 4. Right now, Neuz 1 game away from advancing in the bracket. It could be bad news for Kyna.
It definitely would be a big upset. Kyna coming in as the top PR, going in against PR number 9. I'm not sure how much of a threat this puts on Kyna's flight, but it does make it a lot better for Neuz's potential to get that flight.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It looks like we're going to be going back to Mammoth Fortress, which honestly Neuz just won on. So again, they're feeling comfortable. After that first game, they figured out exactly what they need to be doing different, and they're really bringing it to Kyna in these games 2 and 3. Let's see if they can continue in game 4 here as we again run it back to Mammoth Fortress.
And if I'm Kyna, I'm looking for more on stage. On stage. I'm looking to play the neutral game, win out, play that hammer, go for stomp side airs. And if you go off stage, I'm just going to hang out on stage and wait for my opportunity.
Yeah, seriously, just go for the ledge trap. Ooh, okay, maybe Kyna's waking up here a little bit, recognizing the situation.
He just went for the complete opposite. Instead, he just went full off stage, and you know what? It worked out better. Is he actually untouched? 0 to death?
Yeah, I think that's what the case is. That was just absolutely insane. Still not receiving a hit so far until obviously I said something. But yeah, Neuz off to a rough start.
But he's bringing it back, starting to find some hits onto Kyna Ackerman's first stock, but every single hit is going in favor of Kyna Ackerman. Any trade is in favor of him as he hits a side air off the chase dodge. Looking for more. Down like ground pound, but the soft platform helps out Neuz a little bit there.
Yeah, definitely kept them alive a little bit longer than maybe kind of wanted, but taking a second stock already, not even a minute into the game.
Can I introduce you to the word 3 stock? Because that's what's about to happen if... Oh! All right. He said, no, I don't want a 3 stock. I don't want you to get this stock either.
I'm not sure what happened. I think like because they knew they were in a bad position, they were trying to get Neuz to follow them down as far as possible. And just trying to bait them into losing that stock. That's my guess, because I don't know what happened there.
I mean, it's a little bit of Brawlhalla chicken, right? If Kyna lets go of the ground pound, Neuz is just going to bring a boot to his head. So he had to just commit. Either way, he still has a huge lead.
Oh, yeah, fantastic lead. And that actually will not be it quite yet. But the weapon toss might be able to secure that one. Yes, it will. We're going into a game 5 already, the first set.
That was insanely fast. And Neuz very quickly went through the stat screen so that you couldn't see the 65 that production really wanted to show off.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens in this game 5 here. I'm not sure what stage we ended up going to, but we'll find out in just a moment's notice. But yeah, look at that damage taken. Ugh,
That's brutal.
That is very brutal.
That's very brutal. That is like maybe 2 or 3 1 engagements, and that's it. But either way, we're going to game number 5. Kyna versus Neuz. Neuz hoping for the upset here in game number 5.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can see that continue. But Kyna, after dropping 2 games in a row, started to wake up to say, oh, what am I doing here? I'm the higher ranked player. I need to start playing like it. And that game 4 definitely showcased.
Yeah, he's just absolutely winning at every instance of the game, winning in the offstage, winning the onstage right now, trading out relatively even as he goes over to the hammer.
All right, and this is where they've been making a lot of their money, is with this hammer. The stomp stairs are definitely a specialty for Kyna. Ooh, but a tough spot. Are they going to be able to make it back? No! And we see Neuz take that first stock.
That was such a good edge guard and such a good recovery attempt from Kyna. He went for the weapon toss, trying to make sure it's protected to go for that wall touch, but Neuz stays just above it and comes down with the side air. It's kind of peaked up a little too high.
All right, now Neuz trying to keep this momentum going here. They feel great, and especially after dropping a game 4, it's nice to see that mentality has not faltered one bit. Sometimes you recognize you get bodied, you got to go right to the next game, acting like nothing happened. It seems like Neuz is on that mindset.
Got to shake it off. Start to get this extra credit here, as you do have that stock advantage, and he's playing it safe. You can see him play a little bit higher. It's going to be pretty hard for Kyna to catch him. He's generally looking for a recovery there.
But now Neuz with a hammer. And not going to be able to, get any sort of damage. Kind of still trying to find a stock of their own. Does find it. Great stuff here. And we are waking up for Kyna to try and close out this game 5.
Stock count does get evened up by Kyna Ackerman. He's got the weapon advantage, and Neuz playing aggressive into the hammer. Odd option there from Kyna, go for the stomp into the neutral light, but he's still keeping the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, being able to juggle Neuz at least a little bit definitely puts him in a tough spot there. They're trying to find a place to land. Finally gets their feet on the ground, gets a sword as well, and he's trying to fight back, Neuz.
He can't find an opening. Every time he's trying to land, he's getting caught by Kyna Ackerman. The damage is adding up. Neuz finding some breathing room here, but he's still not finding hits onto Kyna.
Okay, gets a weapon toss for a little bit of something and gets a couple extra additional hits. This is actually really close. A one solid opening for either player might be able to close out a stock, Kyna more so.
Oh, that's a big risk from Neuz, and he's going to get hard punished for it. Kyna Ackerman with a big lead now.
All right, but having all the weapons juggling around and decides to beat you up unarmed. That's just a little bit of a flex if I've ever seen one. Good stuff to Kyna, but the stomp there, not quite going to close this one out. The weapon toss. Yeah, very tough position. Kyna finds their footing back onto the stage here, feeling good.
Yeah, an unfortunate second weapon toss there. I think it hit the platform, it hit the stage, so it didn't fly at the angle Neuz wanted. Either way, again with the... He's betting so big on these N-SIGs, and they're not working out.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like, hey, just reset neutral, get something strong. This could be it. I like the weapon toss. Oh, picks it back up with the recovery. Oh, this is getting scary.
Neuz still has an opportunity. Find the hit, get the side air, maybe go to the final stocks, but another down air from Kyna, and it could be over. He misses.
Ooh, and Neuz went for it, and that is gonna be it.
All right, guarantee it. Make sure that it's a flashy finish. Kyna Ackerman closes it out. 3-2 to go into the winners final.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Kyna. I mean, they really went absolutely nutty in that game 4, right? Forcing a game 5 situation here and just kept it going. It's what you expect to see, the number 4 just saying, hey, listen, I am ranked as the better player here, and I'm